In this video, we are going to build an insane appointment reminder voice agent that can automatically call your clients before their bookings, ask for confirmation if they are able to show up, and even reschedule the meeting if the client wants. So if you are running a business that depends on appointments, this will save you a ton of time and money by not having to call these clients manually. And to be honest, manually calling these clients not just time consuming, but exhausting as well. But here's the best part. Once you set this up, it will run on autopilot. That means it will make sure you never have a no-show again. In this video, we are going to build it for dental clinics, but you can fully customize it depending on your needs. There are so many businesses that can benefit from this. For example, consulting services, auto repair shops, real estate agencies. Literally anyone who deals with appointments can use this. Let me show you a quick demo of how it works.
I'm calling from Global Dental Clinic. Is this Thomas Virago?
Yes, it's me.
I'm calling to confirm your teeth cleaning appointment scheduled for tomorrow, 11 a.m. Will you be able to make it?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it tomorrow.
No problem. Would you like me to reschedule the appointment for you?
Yes, please.
What time would be suitable for you?
How about Thursday, 1 p.m.?
Give me a moment. I found some available slots for Thursday. Would you prefer 11 a.m. or 4 p.m.?
4 p.m. sounds good.
This will just take a sec. I successfully rescheduled the appointment for you at Thursday, 4 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you. As you could hear, the agent called the patient to confirm their dental appointment for tomorrow. Then the patient realized they cannot make it, so the agent offered a reschedule. And once they negotiated a new appointment, the system updated the calendar without the need of a human. I think it's pretty cool. I will show you how to make it, but I will also provide all the templates of the final result in the description. And to talk about the tools, we are going to use VAPI for the voice agent, and we will build all the automations on Make, so you don't need to have any coding knowledge. And we will also need to have a Gmail account because we will be using Google Calendar to keep track of all the appointments. To get started, let's set up VAPI. So let's go to vapi AI. Sign up if you don't have an account, and once you have that, go to your dashboard. The first thing we need to do is to create an assistant. So click on Create Assistant. I'm going to call it Eva. And you can leave the blank template selected, then click on Create Assistant. Once you have that, we can provide a first message. Hello, I'm calling from Global Dental Clinic. Is this name in curly braces? You probably wonder why I put the name in curly braces. This is a way to indicate VAPI that it's a dynamic variable and it will be different depending on the user's name. We will get this info from Google Calendar and we will send it through the API request to the agent. Next, I'm going to paste in the prompt I've created. You can pause the video if you want and copy it, but you will also be able to find it in the description. Then we can click on Publish. And when you have that, let's go to the Tools page and create a new tool. Leave the server URL empty, then click on Next. And the property we will need to have is a preferred time. It is going to be the date and time the user would like to reschedule their appointment to. For example, Tuesday 2 p.m. Don't proceed without this data. Click on Next and call the tool Reschedule Appointment. And for the description, add this tool is responsible for rescheduling the appointment for the user. Click Next, then Create. Let's go to the Functions tab and add the tool. Then click on Publish. Because this is going to be an outbound call, we need to connect a phone number to the agent. So let's open the phone number tab. And here we have the option to create a phone number. And you can see that if you're from US or Canada, you can get a free number from VAPI. Otherwise, you need to register either at Twilio or Vonage and import a number from there. I have a phone number in Twilio, so I'm going to import that. If you register that, this is what you're going to see. You can get a trial account for $10 worth of credit, so it's ideal for testing purposes. We need to copy these data and paste it into VAPI. So let's start with the phone number. Then we need the account SID. And finally the out token. If you have just registered and you're using a sandbox phone number, you have to whitelist the number you want to call. So if you go to phone numbers, manage, verified caller IDs, and here you need to add the number you will be calling. Then you also have to whitelist the country. So if you go to voice, settings, geo permissions, you need to find the country of the number you will be calling and tick the checkbox next to it. Now that we have everything set up with VAPI, we can start working on our automation flows. But before we open Make, I want to show you how the calendar looks like. You can see that for every event I provided a service, name and phone number. These are the information we will send over to VAPI. So let's start working on the Make scenario. Click on Create Scenario. Call it Call Clients. And the first module we need to add is Google Calendar. Search events. You have to connect it with your calendar and select the calendar ID. Then we need to provide the time window we want to check. So in our case, I want it to start at the beginning of tomorrow and end at the end of tomorrow. Let's add the set hour function, and for the first parameter, add days, because we will need to set the current time to tomorrow. So the first parameter will be now, and the second will be 1, because we need to add 1 day to today. And the second parameter of this set hour will be 0, which will set the date to the beginning of tomorrow. Let's copy this and change the hour to 23. This will set it at the end of tomorrow. Click Save, and let's run the scenario. You will see that we received the data of the event from tomorrow. Now we want to schedule this scenario for every day, so it will automatically check for the events for the next day. So at the scheduling settings, we can select every day. And I will set the time at 12 p.m. So this scenario will run every day at 12 p.m. and call the clients who has booking scheduled for the next day. Next, we need to add the ChatGPT module. We will use this to format the date we are getting from Google Calendar, so we can send it to the voice agent. For the model, select GPT 3.5 Turbo. And let's create a message. Add the system role. And for the text content, add "You are a professional data formatter." Your task is to create a JSON structure from the input. Example output, and we need to create the JSON. So there will be a service key, name, and phone number. Then create a user role, and the content will be the input, and find the description from Google Calendar. Click Save and run the scenario. We got the data in a JSON format, so next add the parse JSON module. This will make it possible for us to map the data to VAPI. For the JSON string, pass the result from ChatGPT. Click Save and run the scenario again. Now we have a JSON formatted result. And the last module here will be VAPI. Make an API call. We need to provide the API key, so go back to VAPI and find our private key and paste it in the module. If you go to the API reference, we will need to find the post create call endpoint, and you can see that the endpoint is /call and it will be a post request. And in the body, we need to provide the variable values. So if you go to the documentation of dynamic variables and scroll down a little bit, you will see the format we need to provide to VAPI. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it into the body field. The first thing we need to change is the assistant ID. You can find it in the VAPI dashboard. Then we need to switch the name with our variable. Let's also add service. The time, which will be tomorrow. And I only want to send the hours and minutes, so let's add the format date tool. The first parameter will be start from Google Calendar. And the second is hours, minutes, and A at the end. This will mean that it will show AM or PM. And we will also need to send over the event ID, so we will know which event to reschedule. This data will come from Google Calendar. We also need to change the customer phone number. And lastly, we need to find our phone number ID. You can get that from the phone numbers page in VAPI. Now we can click on save and try calling our number. We received the 201 status code, so we have set it up correctly. If you go through the conversation, it will offer you to reschedule the meeting for you. So let's set it up in Make. Create a new scenario and call it reschedule. This scenario will be responsible for checking availability and rescheduling the booking. It will be triggered by a webhook, but first I will add a set multiple variables module, so we don't have to call the agent every time to test it. The first variable will be preferred time. The value will be Thursday 1 p.m. And the second one is the event ID. If you go back to your event, you can get a string from the URL, but this won't be the ID yet. We need to go to a base64 decoder and paste in this string. You will get a result, and this part will be your event ID. So copy it and paste it into Make. Next, let's add the ChatGPT module. This will be responsible for getting the correct dates from the user's input. So if the user says Wednesday 1 p.m., it will give you the proper date. Select GPT 3.5 and add the system prompt. You are a date calculation expert. The days of the week in order: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The current date is, it is currently at the format date. The first parameter is now. And the second is the format of the date. So in our case, it will be year, month, and day. Below that, let's say the current day is, let's say the format date again. For the first parameter, add now, and the second will be DDDD. So this will return the name of the day. Then add some rules. The format of the output should be year, month, dash, day, and we need to add a T, and after that let's add hours, minutes, and second. Don't include any explanation in the result. When you receive a name of the day, the output should only be later than the current date. When you are provided with a day, find the upcoming occurrence of that day. When you are provided with a date, simply return the date you received. The first day of the week is Monday. And let's provide some examples. Example input, Thursday 2 p.m. And the example output is 2025, February 20, 2 p.m. Example input, 2025, February 20, 2 p.m. And the example output will be the same. And for the user role, let's say, find the date for, and let's select the preferred time. We can click on save, then run the scenario, and we get the correct date. So next, let's add the Google Calendar module. We need to check if that time is available or not, so let's select get free busy information. The minimum time will be the result from ChatGPT, and the maximum time will be 1 hour after the preferred time. This will be the end of the appointment. So let's add an add hours tool. The first parameter will be result, and the second is 1. We also need to provide a calendar ID, which is usually your email address. Then click on save. And if you run the scenario, we will see that it returned the event that is at the same time as the preferred time. So what we need to do here is, if the preferred time is free, we want to reschedule the booking. Otherwise, we need to provide alternative appointments for the user. So I'm going to add a router module. And at the end of the first route, I'm going to add the Google Calendar module, which will update an event. I need to provide the calendar ID. This will be your email again. The event ID. And the start date from ChatGPT. Then add the length of the appointment to the duration, which will be 1. And here we also need to set up a filter. Slot is available. And the condition will be the busy array. And array length less than 1. And the second router will also go to a Google Calendar module. So we need to add the get free busy information again. This will get all the booked meeting for a specific interval. You can set whatever you like here. I'm going to select the same day the user prefers. So for the minimum time, I'm going to add the set hours tool. And I will set it to the beginning of the working hour, which is 9. And do the same for the maximum time. I will set it at 5 p.m. Let's provide the calendar ID. Click save, and let's also set this route as fallback. When you run the scenario, it will give you all the bookings, so let's iterate through this because I wanted to have them in a text format. So ChatGPT can read it easily. Add an iterator. Select the busy array, save, then add the text aggregator, the source will be the iterator, and what I noticed, if we aggregate the dates, it will provide it in UTC time, so we need to calculate the time that match our time zone. I live 1 hour ahead of UTC, so I'm going to add an add hours tool, and add one to the start date and the end date. Let's also add a comma as a separator. Click save, let's click on run. And we receive the busy dates. Next we need to run it through ChatGPT, which will give us the free times based on the busy time. Select GPT 3.5 and add a system prompt. You are a professional appointment finder. You will be provided with slots that are fully booked. Your job is to find slots where you can fit a 1-hour appointment without overlapping the fully booked slot. The working hours are between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Find slots inside the working hours. Find 2 slots that are free. Return the output in a JSON format. Example output. I'm just going to paste it in. So we will have a slots array, and inside that we will have 2 slots. For the user role, let's add the slots that are booked, and this will be the text from the text aggregator. Click on save and run once. Cool, it gives us the result. Now we need to parse this JSON, so let's add a parse JSON module and add the result from ChatGPT. Next we need to iterate through this with an iterator and add another text aggregator. Select the source, and the text will be slot. And let's also add a comma as a separator. Click save, and let's run it. Now let's switch the set variable module at the beginning, so let's add the webhook. And copy the URL. We need to paste it in Vapi's tool server URL field, so go back to Vapi and select your tool. Open up integration and paste it in the URL field. Go back to make and let's run the scenario, but unlink the webhook first. And now we can initiate a call, so we will see if the data goes through. We receive the data. If you open the tool call, you will see that it's sent through the preferred date. And if you open the assistant, you will see that it also sent through all the dynamic variables from Google Calendar. So let's switch the preferred time in ChatGPT module. And then go to the Google Calendar module at the first route, and for the event ID select assistant. And for the event ID select assistant, variable values, event ID. Click save. Then we need to add a webhook response to send back the data to Vapi. I'm going to paste in the format it expects, and we need to switch the to call ID. And the result will be successfully rescheduled for result. Let's clone this module and add to the end of the other route. And the result here will be our free dates are text from the text aggregator. Click save and let's activate the scenario. And now we can try out if everything works, so I'm going to trigger a call from the other scenario.
from Global Dental Clinic. Is this Thomas Farrago?
Yes, it's me.
I'm calling to confirm your teeth cleaning appointment scheduled for tomorrow 11 a.m. Will you be able to make it?
No, I won't be able to make it tomorrow.
No problem. Would you like me to reschedule the appointment?
Yes, please.
What time would be suitable for you?
How about Thursday, 1 p.m.?
Hold on a sec. I found some available options for Thursday. We have appointments at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Which one would you prefer?
11 a.m. sounds good.
One moment. I successfully rescheduled the appointment for you at 11 a.m. on Thursday. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
As you saw, the assistant handled everything perfectly, confirmed availability, booked the appointment, and it could even reschedule it. If you want a custom setup for your business, feel free to reach out or leave a comment below. Also, let me know in the comments what you would like to see built next. It really helps me out and makes creating the most content for you. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon.